Ladies and gentlemen, when I heard the story of LaShawn Thompson, my heart sank. This is a deplorable story. And then looking at the condition of the cell he was in, these folks don't care. They will treat you less than human and won't feel 1 ounce of guilt over it either, because that's what a demon does. So he was eaten alive by bugs in a prison cell. Now, LaShawn had a long history of mental health issues. He has the real mental health, not the ones them folks get as soon as they commit a crime and they're trying to get out of everything. Not that mental health, the real one. Oh boy. Inmate dies after being eaten alive by insects and bed bugs. This is according to the family attorney. This is so sick. A grieving family wants answers after a relative died in a Georgia jail. After, in the words of the attorney, being eaten alive by insects and bed bugs, reported WJHG. According to attorney Michael D. Harper, LaShawn Thompson was at Fulton County Jail for 3 months before he was found dead in a cell. Wow. Thompson was arrested on a misdemeanor battery charge in Atlanta on June 2022. He was taken to Fulton County Jail and placed in psychiatric ward after officials determined he had mental health issues. Well, why would he have to? Why couldn't you send him to a medical facility? You said this was a misdemeanor. If you got all kinds of insects and bed bugs in those cells, I don't know why anybody would have to be in them. Especially if he was having mental health issues. And that's what they said. They determined that's what he had. What Mr. Thompson was housed in was not fit for a diseased animal, said Harper. He did not deserve this. Someone has to be accountable for his death. I agree with that. Just looking at that picture makes my stomach turn. How can you put anybody in conditions like that? The Fulton County Jail must be closed and replaced. Yes. If it looks anything like what I'm looking at in this picture, it should have probably been closed a few decades ago. Officials at the jail have not commented. According to the report, Thompson's family obtained records that stated detention officers and medical staff noticed his health deteriorating but did nothing to administer aid to him or help him. That is really the norm of what you hear all the time up in these prisons. I've seen that in so many stories, it's not even funny. They'll look at an inmate and see they're declining or see they're literally starving to death, and they won't do a thing to help them. It should not even be their job to just X someone off, you know? And a lot of these COs will do this to inmates that have not even had a trial. You don't even know whether this person is really guilty or not. So, but you're determining a death sentence for them. No, that's not right. Mm-mm-mm. And detention officers repeatedly refuse to administer even CPR to him. And the reason why they said they wouldn't give him CPR, the guard said she was freaked out when finding Thompson's body had been bitten up by bugs and insects, bed bugs and insects. Well, you're just looking at it. He had to live it. Horror stories about detainee death in jails and prisons around the country have gained national attention in recent years as a greater spotlight is placed on the conditions they have to endure. If he was in there for a misdemeanor and you knew health wise he wasn't right, to me, they should have transported him to some kind of medical facility. Wow. In January, a lawsuit alleged that Autumn Harris, locked up in an Alabama jail for failure to appear in a misdemeanor theft case, died of pneumonia after nurses refused to give her antibiotics. To me, when they refuse to do a job they are there to do, they should be charged with a crime. I'm serious. If you sat and watch someone's health fail and you had the ability to do something and you didn't, you should be charged with a crime as far as I'm concerned. Nurses refuse to give her antibiotics. That doesn't make any sense. They got antibiotics up in these prisons. In March, 7 Virginia sheriff deputies were charged for allegedly smothering Irvo, and we heard this story, Otieno, to death. Yeah, they piled on him. It was like 8 officers just all piled on top of him. Of course, he stopped breathing. Anybody would. While transferring him from the Henrico County Jail to a state mental facility. And earlier this month, another lawsuit of Joshua McLemore, taken to a prison in Jackson County, Indiana, after pulling a nurse's hair while having a psychotic episode in the hospital. He was thrown into solitary confinement where guards let him starve to death. Over pulling somebody's hair? You gave him a death sentence when you did that. And you gotta be really careful putting people with mental issues in solitary confinement because that's really where they don't belong. Wow. Y'all, please tell me what you think about this story. I was just totally disgusted by this story, for real. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.